When is anger justified? The philosophy and science behind anger-rage introduction. Anger, a primal and powerful emotion, has fascinated scholars and thinkers across disciplines for millennia. Its manifestations vary from a fleeting annoyance to a raging fury, and its impact can be profound, shaping individual behavior, social interactions, and even broader cultural dynamics. In this study, we embark on a journey to explore the multifaceted nature of anger, seeking to unravel the complex interplay between philosophy and science in understanding when anger might be justified. At its core, anger is a response to perceived threats, injustices, or frustrations. Philosophers have long grappled with questions surrounding the justification of anger, pondering whether it is a righteous indignation or a destructive force to be suppressed. Aristotle, in his Nicomachean Ethics, distinguished between good and bad forms of anger, suggesting that anger could be virtuous when directed toward moral wrongdoing, but dangerous when driven by irrational impulses. Similarly, Stoic philosophers advocated for the cultivation of equanimity and self-control, viewing anger as a manifestation of moral weakness. Beyond the realm of philosophy, contemporary psychology offers insights into the underlying mechanisms of anger and rage. Cognitive theories of emotion emphasize the role of appraisal processes in determining the intensity and duration of anger. According to appraisal theories, individuals evaluate situations based on their perceived relevance to personal goals and values, with anger arising in response to perceived threats or injustices. This cognitive appraisal process influences not only the subjective experience of anger, but also its behavioral manifestations, shaping how individuals respond to provocation or conflict. Moreover, research in neuroscience has shed light on the neural mechanisms underlying anger and aggression. Functional brain imaging studies have implicated the amygdala, prefrontal cortex, and other brain regions in the processing of emotional stimuli and the regulation of impulsive behaviors. Dysregulation of these neural circuits has been linked to various psychiatric disorders characterized by heightened anger and aggression, underscoring the complex interplay between brain function and emotional regulation. The cultural and ethical dimensions of anger further complicate the question of its justification. Cultural norms and social expectations shape how anger is expressed, perceived, and tolerated within different societies. In some cultures, displays of anger may be valorized as a sign of strength or righteousness, while in others, they may be stigmatized as disruptive or uncivilized. Ethical theories offer frameworks for evaluating the moral permissibility of anger, considering factors such as proportionality, intentionality, and the potential for harm. From a utilitarian perspective, anger may be justified if it leads to positive outcomes or prevents greater harm, whereas deontological theories may emphasize the importance of respecting the dignity and autonomy of others, even in the face of provocation. In light of these diverse perspectives, the question remains: when is anger justified? Is it a natural and necessary response to perceived injustices, or is it a destructive force that should be tempered and controlled? By integrating insights from philosophy, psychology, neuroscience, and ethics, we hope to gain a deeper understanding of the complex interplay between emotions, cognition, and behavior in determining the justification of anger. In doing so, we aim to shed light on this timeless question and offer insights that may inform individual, interpersonal, and societal responses to anger and conflict. Evolutionary perspectives on anger. To understand the role of anger in human behavior, it is essential to consider its evolutionary origins. Evolutionary psychologists argue that anger evolved as an adaptive response to threats or injustices, serving to protect individuals and their resources from harm. From this perspective, anger can be seen as a natural and even necessary emotion for survival in competitive environments. However, the extent to which anger is justified in modern society, where physical threats are less common, remains a subject of debate. Psychological mechanisms of anger. Psychologists have identified various cognitive and physiological mechanisms underlying anger and rage. According to appraisal theories of emotion, anger arises when individuals perceive a threat or injustice that violates their goals or values. This appraisal process involves evaluating the situation as unfair, harmful, or disrespectful, leading to feelings of anger. Additionally, research suggests that anger is associated with physiological arousal, including increased heart rate, blood pressure, and adrenaline levels, which prepare the body for action. Understanding these psychological mechanisms can provide insight into when anger may be considered justified based on the perceived threat or harm. Cultural and ethical perspectives. The justification of anger is often influenced by cultural norms, moral values, and ethical principles. In some cultures, expressions of anger may be more socially acceptable or even encouraged as a means of asserting dominance or defending one's honor. However, in other cultures, anger may be viewed as disruptive or inappropriate, emphasizing the importance of emotional regulation and conflict resolution. From an ethical standpoint, philosophers have debated whether anger can ever be morally justified, particularly in cases where it leads to harm or violence. The principle of proportionality suggests that anger is justified only when the response is proportional to the perceived offense and when less harmful alternatives are unavailable. The role of empathy and compassion. Empathy and compassion play crucial roles in determining the justification of anger. Empathy involves the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, allowing individuals to recognize the sources of anger in themselves and others. Compassion, on the other hand, involves a desire to alleviate suffering and promote well-being, which can temper the impulse toward anger and aggression. Research suggests that cultivating empathy and compassion can enhance emotional intelligence and reduce aggressive tendencies, leading to more constructive responses to conflict and injustice. Cognitive strategies for anger management. Given the potential negative consequences of uncontrolled anger, cognitive behavioral techniques have been developed to help individuals manage their anger more effectively. These strategies typically involve identifying and challenging irrational thoughts and beliefs that contribute to anger, as well as learning coping skills such as relaxation techniques, problem-solving, and communication skills. By addressing the underlying cognitive processes that fuel anger, individuals can develop healthier ways of responding to provocations and injustices, thereby reducing the likelihood of unjustified anger. Neuroscientific insights into anger. Recent advances in neuroscience have shed light on the neural mechanisms underlying anger and aggression. Functional brain imaging studies have revealed that the amygdala, prefrontal cortex, and other brain regions play crucial roles in processing emotional stimuli and regulating impulsive behaviors. Dysregulation of these neural circuits has been implicated in various psychiatric disorders characterized by heightened anger and aggression, such as intermittent explosive disorder and borderline personality disorder. Understanding the neurobiological basis of anger can inform the development of targeted interventions for anger management and aggression. In conclusion, in our exploration of the philosophy and science behind anger and rage, we have encountered a rich tapestry of perspectives that highlight the complexity of this primal emotion. From ancient philosophical treatises to contemporary scientific research, the study of anger offers valuable insights into the human psyche, social dynamics, and ethical considerations. As we conclude our inquiry, several key themes emerge that shape our understanding of when anger may be considered justified. Firstly, the evolutionary origins of anger provide important context for understanding its adaptive functions and limitations. Evolutionary psychologists argue that anger evolved as a protective mechanism, mobilizing individuals to respond to threats or injustices in their environment. While this primal response may have conferred survival advantages in ancestral environments, its relevance and appropriateness in modern society are subject to debate. The prevalence of social, economic, and technological changes has reshaped the landscape of human interactions, raising questions about the relevance of anger as an adaptive response in contemporary contexts. Secondly, psychological mechanisms underlying anger offer valuable insights into its cognitive and emotional components. Appraisal theories of emotion emphasize the role of cognitive evaluations in shaping the experience and expression of anger. By appraising situations as unjust, threatening, or disrespectful, individuals activate the physiological and behavioral responses characteristic of anger. Understanding these appraisal processes can inform strategies for managing anger more effectively by challenging irrational beliefs and adopting more adaptive coping mechanisms. Thirdly, the cultural and ethical dimensions of anger highlight the importance of context and perspective in determining its justification. Cultural norms and social expectations shape how anger is expressed and perceived within different societies, with varying degrees of tolerance and acceptance. Ethical theories offer frameworks for evaluating the moral permissibility of anger, considering factors such as intentionality, proportionality, and the potential for harm. By considering the broader implications of anger on individual well-being and social cohesion, we can discern when anger may align with ethical principles and when it may transgress them. Furthermore, the role of empathy, compassion, and emotional intelligence emerges as crucial factors in determining the justification of anger. Empathy allows individuals to understand and share the feelings of others, fostering mutual understanding and conflict resolution. Compassion, in turn, encourages a desire to alleviate suffering and promote well-being, tempering the impulse toward anger and aggression. Cultivating empathy and compassion can enhance emotional intelligence and promote more constructive responses to conflict and injustice, thereby reducing the likelihood of unjustified anger. In conclusion, the question of when anger is justified is a complex and multifaceted issue that defies simple answers. By integrating insights from philosophy, psychology, neuroscience, and ethics, we have gained a deeper understanding of the factors that shape the experience and expression of anger. While anger may serve adaptive functions in certain contexts, its indiscriminate expression can lead to harmful consequences for individuals and society. As we navigate the complexities of anger in our lives, we must strive to cultivate self-awareness, empathy, and ethical discernment, recognizing the potential for both constructive and destructive outcomes. In doing so, we can harness the power of anger to promote justice, foster compassion, and cultivate a more harmonious world.